Okay, so this is sound awkward, right? Well, no, Michael is not here. So let's just continue. And as the surgeon at arms, which can be anybody in the future, you know when Michael is not here or when the president is not here, you say, let's pass it to the next person who is here and will be able to start the meeting. Meaning that we all need to observe the circumstances and be able to move the meeting, right? That's ability, and that's what we're here to learn. Yeah, okay, so normally the meeting starts with Toastmaster, and the Toastmaster is Diana. So as a sergeant in arms, next time when you do observe the room, and then notice who are there, who can pick up the baton, and then introduce that person. Does that sound good? Okay, all right.
Introduce me as a living Toastmasters. That's who we are.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Our grammarian today will be.
My name's Jason. Thank you, Toastmasters. Good evening, Toastmasters. Today I will be your grammarian, looking for filler words like so, and. Also, I'll be looking for the word of the day, which today's word of the day is enlighten. The definition is to give someone greater knowledge and understanding about a subject or situation. An example sentence would be, Christopher had not enlightened Francis as to their relationship. So with that, I'll pass it back to our Toastmaster, Ms. Deanna, to introduce.
Now I'd like to introduce our timer, Holostia.
Greetings, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and guests. As timer, I'll time table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I'll also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red cards, which denote specific time remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. Those giving speeches should limit their remarks to their specific speech times, and icebreaker speech should be 4 to 6 minutes and less. Most other speeches should be 5 to 7 minutes long. I'll pass it back to Toastmasters.
Now I'm going to introduce the first evaluator, Hannah.
So at this point, you notice from your agenda is that the first speaker is not here. It's not here. Normally we would pass to the second speaker so that first speaker will have time to get here. But the second speaker, Eric, is not here either. So
We have a third speaker, right?
we don't have a third speaker, but we have an opportunity for people to do an impromptu speech.
Oh no.
Impromptu, yeah. So anybody can speak about anything. This is a great opportunity for you to stand up and just say something for 4 to 6 minutes. Yeah, it is a long table topic. I know this is tough, but it's an opportunity for you to practice this skill. Yeah. Anybody wanna pick up the challenge?
If not, we can go on ahead to table topics.
Yes, we can.
Well, whose tabletop is that? Where's Eric?
Yeah, Kennedy is.
Oh.
Kennedy is. Okay, so we will switch the order. Okay, so we can wait in the two speakers.
So when we're
So the Toastmaster normally decide what order we want to do, so, yeah. Okay.
Alright, our first table topics is, would you rather constantly have dry eyes or constant runny nose? Urban.
The prompt is would you rather have constantly dry eyes or constantly runny nose? I would choose to have a constantly runny nose because who wants to have eye irritation when they're trying to sleep? I think no one does. But a runny nose can be easily dealt with a box of tissues and a trash can. You just have to bring those along you everywhere, every day, every time. I think that's what I would choose between the dry eyes and runny nose.
Would you rather fight a silverback gorilla or fight Mike Tyson? Isaac.
So the question is, would I rather die or would I rather die faster? So honestly, I would rather fight Mike Tyson than fight a gorilla because yes, I might get killed in a single punch because Mike Tyson has done that before to some of his opponents, grown men who were trained for fighting. But and he's also been people's ear off. But at least if I fight a silverback gorilla, it'd be over faster. So who knows? He might can just bite half of my body off and then boom, right over. I don't have to feel any pain. Versus me getting absolutely pummeled by one of the best fighters of all time. So I am choosing Mike Tyson. I'd rather fight Mike Tyson, really. But both of them very unfortunate situation to who is ever on the other end of those two beasts.
It would say it wasn't a gunfight.
Would you rather never be stuck in traffic again or never get sick again? Miss Anna.
So the question is to choose between never sick again and never stuck in the traffic. Of course, I think I will choose never sick again, because I don't think anybody like that, the feeling of being sick. You just don't have the strength to do anything, and that just feel very bad. On the other hand, stuck in the traffic, I don't think that's too bad because I have a good radio station I can listen to. I have, for example, I can go pop up my Audible, listen to a book I always wanted to listen or finish listening, or I can pop a podcast, one of my favorite podcasts, and listen to the very latest news or some very insightful comments. Yeah, so I think the stuck in the traffic is not too bad as long as you are not really rushing into a hospital in that situation. So yeah, I would like to be healthy, never be sick, and enjoy my podcast and all of it. Thank you.
It takes $40 billion to solve world hunger. You have $40 billion. If you do choose to solve world hunger, you are going to be homeless for the rest of your life and you can never make any more money. What do you choose to do? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot your name. So being the bajillionaire that I am, going homeless is very unfortunate.
I think I would choose to solve world hunger and be homeless for the rest of my life because I would still have food even though I'm homeless because I just solved world hunger. I think because I have food, I wouldn't mind being homeless. Food is everything. I think that's what I would do.
The apocalypse is starting tomorrow. Which fictional character are you bringing with you?
Excuse me, I'm sorry, I forgot your name? Yes.
Plus.
Right?
Alright, so the question was, if I had to bring a fictional character in the apocalypse, I'm definitely choosing Goku. Y'all seen the anime? Like, Goku is like, has all the superpowers. Like, come on now. We've seen from episode 1 to episode 50, he's beaten every single person up since that point. And I don't think zombies is too much of a fight for him. Now, he might struggle if there's like a zombie boss. I don't know if that's like exists in the apocalypse, but other than that, if it's like regular zombies, I think he'll be okay. I'll be safe at least, if he does. Alright, thank you.
Alright, you don't have to go to the question, it'll also the same thing. You don't
Would you rather go without taking a bath for a month or go without internet for a month? Sorry, again, I forgot your name. What's your name? Kate. That's Hannah.
Alright, the question was, would I rather not take a bath for a month or not have internet for a month? Now, this is a difficult question because, as you can see from my luxuriously gorgeous flowing hair, I enjoy taking baths. But the thing is, internet is really important to me for school and for fun. But in the end, I think I would have to settle with not using it for a month because I could tell my teachers that I can't do it, so I won't have to do any of my homework. And I get to keep my natural state of cleanliness. That's my answer.
Would you rather live in a world without music or without books?
think about it.
What's the word of
In love?
Latin? Enlightened? The question was, would I rather be in a world without books or without music? You see, I love listening to music, and I listen to it every day. I love Huang Xiaoying. I love Adele. I love all of these music artists, but without books, I don't know. I would probably go insane. I love reading books. I read them almost every day, so this is undoubtedly a very terrifying question. But as in the novel Fahrenheit 451, books are banned in that world. The government tries to restrict thought, and free thought isn't allowed. That without books in that world, I feel like that world would happen. I would not be able to record my thoughts. I would not be able to spend time in another world. And while I might still have music, I might still be able to listen to my favorite music artists. What's the fun of life without books? So therefore, because I read books every single day and I just can't go without them, even though I still listen to music every day and can't go without it, I would probably choose for there to be no music in the world because of how much I love books and I want to avoid an apocalypse because of how enlightened and very fun that would be.
If you could live for 1,000 more years, would you? Mr. Jason.
Thank you, Toastmasters. If I could live 1,000 more years, I would probably have to say yes, even though it would be good and bad. One, I could enlighten the people with my infinite knowledge because I've learned so much over the 1,000 years of my time. But it would be sad because every year, just like that Stephen King movie, Eventually, I'd be the only one left from my generation, and I'd be all alone, so it'd be kind of lonely. I'd have to make new friends. That being said, living 1,000 years would be interesting. I can see what the future holds, the technology, the science, the exploration of space. But at the same time, my arthritis would kick in and it would hurt. So if my body ages like someone 1,000-year-old, I'd have to go with no. But if I stay now semi-young forever, I'll go with that. Ideally, I'd have got this opportunity at 25. I felt a lot better. But at 43, I'll take it. So yes, if I can live 1,000 more years healthy, I'll take it. I'd say yes. But if I'm going to be unhealthy and age naturally, I might as well just head on out. Thank you, Coach Matt.
Would you rather clean gas station toilets for the rest of your life or work in a slaughterhouse for the rest of your life? Sophia.
Definitely an interesting question. I would rather work in a slaughterhouse for the rest of my life. Mainly because blood is not that gross. I mean, I feel like I would get used to the scent. It's like very like metallic and like irony. And I definitely prefer that more than just the visual of poop and pee and whatever else happens in the bathroom. I'm just gagging at the thought and not very, no. Slaughterhouse, I feel like, there's some anatomy to it, some not so good smells. I mean, I'm sure the visuals aren't as good, but I don't like human excrement. That's it.
Would you rather only be able to take cold showers / baths for the rest of your life or live without a washing machine? Tim.
So the question was, would I rather live without a washing machine or only take cold showers? So I can't live without a washing machine. I mean, washing my clothes is fine and all, but that takes a lot of time out of my day. And at the end of the week, I have a large basket of unwashed clothes that I throw all in my laundry machine. So that only takes 2 hours. I don't even have to do anything. I can do my homework, not do my homework, sleep, or just eat something. Anything other than just washing clothes for a straight 2 hours like they did in the old times. But taking cold showers, I mean, that's not even that bad. It's just a cold shower. I mean, warm showers, cold showers, on a winter day maybe it gets worse, but summertime, cold showers are supposedly beneficial for you too. So, I mean, I'm getting like good out of good instead of just having to wash my clothes every single day because I don't want to pile up on like a whole mountain of clothes and then have to wash that at the end of the week because I'm not going to be doing anything that day except washing clothes. And also it's probably better for my hands because if I'm washing clothes all day every single week, the whole day on hours, my hands are going to be soaked and wet. It's going to be like wrinkly and that's not going to look that great. So I'd rather take cold showers for the rest of my life than lose my washing machine. Thank you.
What is your favorite book that you've read and why?
My favorite book that I read is probably Sideways Stories from Wayside School. I like it because whenever I'm bored, it has like a lot of chapters, so it probably takes up most of my time. It's really interesting because on the first few chapters, they would talk about people turning into apples and then getting a new teacher, all the crazy people in the class. My personal favorite chapter is probably chapter 30. Because that means I'm almost done with the book. Thank you.
Diana, my favorite chapter is chapter 19. Do you get it?
Would you rather never use social media again or never watch any sort of TVs or movie again?
So the question is whether I won't have social media ever again or I won't be able to watch any TV shows and movies
Yes.
ever again, which I would probably choose. I would want to keep social media over watching TV shows or movies because I can't sit through an entire TV show without getting bored, so I probably won't bother watching it anyways. And then once it comes to movies, I also don't want to sit there and watch the entire thing half the time for no good reason. I'm just someone who gets bored really quickly, so social media is always the way to go for me because I can just scroll around endlessly and just see everyone's opinions about whatever. So I don't even need to watch a show without getting someone's opinions on it, and I can also see all the horror and maybe some clips. So I would rather keep social media than give it up.
Final question, would you rather live in a world where no one ever lies or a world where no one ever gets offended?
The question is, would you rather live in a world where no one lies or no one gets offended? I think I would choose a world where no one lies because I personally don't think being lied to is a really good thing. I would rather not to be lied to. And sometimes people have different opinions, so it's quite impossible to not get offended for the rest of their lives. So I think in a world where no one lies is
That concludes our table topic section.
Thank you, speech.
Now I will introduce evaluator one, which is Hannah.
You're evaluating case.
Yes. Her project.
Speech about American schools and disability.
And what's
so that.
Yeah.
And I'll be evaluating her on her body language, her filler words, her grammar, how well the speech is written, and how well it's presented. That's about it.
You may have heard of this children's show, Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse. You may have even been like me and watched it as a kid. Or you may have watched any of those vast arrays of shows that allowed you to get a glimpse of another world. But in all those shows, you may or may not have noticed something strange about them. In those shows, kids with disabilities, or even characters or animals, as in Mickey Mouse's Clubhouse, were treated differently. Characters with a lisp, villains. Characters that were different from the others, they were thought of as being unintelligent and different. So, this is reflected in our world today as well. And in those shows, as we watched them as kids and grew to adopt that mindset in a world where we thought of those disabled with lisp, cannot think for themselves children as different and needing care. There is something and many things that are reflected in our government, in our world. So, the American government must ask themselves, do we need to divert more resources for kids that have exceptionalities? And the answer is yes. Kids are mistreated. Kids do not have enough resources for them to be taught and taken care of, and teachers are not incentivized to teach the children well. Kids with special needs are mistreated. In many schools across the world, established by the Special Needs Care Act in 1975, schools are required to give special considerations for children with disabilities. But according to childcare.gov, around 3 times more children with disabilities are mistreated in schools. But why? Around 14% of all kids that are abused are special needs kids, according also to Child Care Welfare. Those with a disability are different from the other kids. They may be mentally disabled, they might have a lisp, as reflected by our children's shows. They might even be depressed and need special considerations. Those children are different, as shown by our children's shows. In Mickey Mouse's clubhouse, Pluto was an animal that was different from the all, so he treated him with care and responsibility. He treated them nice and thought of him as a victim, someone that needed care, someone that needed special consideration. But that's not something that was done. As mentioned in the 1975 Special Kids Care Act, the schools across the road must provide funding for kids with disabilities. And according to the Act, 40% of all those costs will be provided by the government. But that's not true. In Texas, they set a law that only 8.5% of the student population is allowed to be disabled children. If there are more disabled children than the required limit, they're not allowed to be admitted by the school and not allowed to be taken care of by the school. And those children have to go to other places with nowhere to take care of them. A report on Texas schools said that over $2 billion were required for funding for those disabled children that was not provided. Disabled children, as set by the Requirement Care Act, need a special learning plan in order to support them. And that plan requires funding. Across our nation, $23.6 billion was reported as required funding because of the act. As mentioned, 40% of that is supposed to be provided by the government, according to the Washington Post. On May 2024, over 21% of schools reported that they did not have enough funding in order to support their kids. Teachers are not incentivized to treat their students well if they aren't paid well. According to a national census estimate, the special ed teachers were only paid around $42,000 per year. Compare that to the abysmal number of $69,000 per year where the normal teachers are paid. They're paid less, with less funding than the other teachers, less incentivization to treat their kids well. They have to stick to the learning curriculum as established by the Special Care Act. But if they don't have enough funding, they can't do it. The teachers may have, they might like teaching kids. They might want to help those poor disabled kids as established by those television shows, but not all teachers are that way. If you've ever had a teacher that you didn't really like, that was like, hey, I saw you talking with other kids. Hey, I don't like how you act. Hey, or even singled you out during school, those teachers could be everywhere. And also, for those, could be treating those disabled children the same way. Which means, yes, Our American government needs to divert more funding to our special ed program for children. Yes, they need to provide more funds for those teachers with not enough money who want to support those kids but can't do it because they are not paid enough and can't support themselves on just that job. They need to help the kids that are out there being mistreated because they're different from the other kids, that they're special, or maybe it's even fun to pick on them. Yes, they need to help resources to support the law that they established. And that may not be happening. And the Trump administration, he has won the election. Yay! But here's a problem. He has never said anything for disabled children. He is looking to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And one incident demonstrated his response to disabled children. He responded and treated a former New York Times editor who was disabled poorly. He singled them out, displaying his opinions. But there are many things that can be done. If you look around, see any disabled children that are being mistreated in front of you, just say hello, or say, wow, you're so amazing, or wow, you're great, and try to support them. You can help them and make a difference on those who are being mistreated, don't have enough funds, and don't have well enough teachers that will help them secure their own future.
Now I'd like to introduce Evaluator 2, which is Isaac.
Thank you for that, Toastmaster. Today I will be evaluating Eric's speech on the history of Apple, known as one of the most profitable and most famous known phone brands and, in general, tech brands. I'll be evaluating you based on how relatable your speech is, how well written it is, your posture, your body language, and your pronunciation of words. You may come on.
Pull it up like on the share screen.
Okay, that's gonna take a moment. Hold on just a sec. You wanna pull up yourself? You can,
No,
yeah, you can do Zoom.
Can I do the meeting?
Huh?
Can I get like the meeting?
Yeah,
I can pull it up for you if you need.
Oh,
You can do the timer.
But
But you're gonna use this?
Oh,
Yeah.
wait, never mind. Yeah.
okay.
I got the idea.
Sorry.
Yes.
Alright, so. What even is Apple?
Try to,
I'm unmuted, like my volume is.
you gotta mute it. You can mute your computer.
Yeah, it's moved.
Okay. That's Xavier's problem then. I'm trying to find Tim, but I cannot find Tim, the timer. Anybody can?
Is that at the top? Top.
Oh, right here. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
So, what even is Apple? Why am I running out of food? See, the Apple I'm talking about isn't the food. It's a technology company that helped innovate the world to what it is now. Chances are you own an Apple device, whether it's a watch, a phone, earbuds, or even a laptop. Apple Corporated is a technology company that was founded in 1976 by Steve Jobs, wasn't yet, and Ronald Wayne. Initially, the company focused on personal computers. It literally revolutionized day-to-day technology with simple and stylish products like the iPod, iPhone, and iPad, making music, phones, and computers fun to use. Apple is still coming up with new products today, like the Apple Watch and AirPods. They continue to work on new advanced technologies, including virtual reality.
Who would even name their company after a fruit? Why do they even name it that way? The reason Apple named Apple was because Steve Jobs liked the simplicity of the word and thought it would sound fun and friendly. After a trip to an Apple farm, he wanted a name that would feel approachable and different from a typical tech company. Also, Apple would appear before competitors like Atari and the phone books for a slight advantage in capability. At a very strategic marketing strategy to the point where Apple is now worth $3.43 trillion. That's only a few trillion less than my bank account. What was Apple like when it first started? Apple, upon its founding in the year 1976, was just a small team operating out of Steve Jobs' parents' garage. Its first product, the Apple I, was a very basic computer, largely assembled by Steve Wozniak. It was sold as a kit for hobbyists to put together. Soon after, they developed the Apple II in 1977, featuring color graphics with a keyboard, one of the first personal computers to make it so user-friendly. The immediate success of the Apple II helped Apple grow very fast and turn it into a well-recognized name in the world of technology. Following the unparalleled success of Apple II, Apple brainstormed new ideas and products that led to the introduction of the Macintosh in 1984. What's Macintosh? The Apple Macintosh, launched in the year 1984, was one of the first personal computers to use a simple icon-based interface and mouse. It was priced at $2,495, about $7,000 today. Had a meager 128 kilobytes of memory, small as compared with gadgets nowadays. For example, present-day smartphones contain about 1 million times more storage than the first Macintosh had. Despite being high-priced, with limited software and low memory, Macintosh was easy to operate, supported a unique, compact design, and included creative programs such as MacPaint and MacWrite. It became an instant cultural icon and really set the stage for the computers being designed on this scale. What happened after that clunky piece of hardware? The success of the Macintosh continued into the 1990s with the release of the powered Macintosh line, which began its shift into new hardware. However, by the late 90s, it was having trouble, and that led to a return by Steve Jobs in 1997. Then came the iMac in 1998, presented by Steve Jobs after he took over, breathing life anew into Apple with its bold design and user-friendly features. Then came the innovative products such as the iPod in 2001, which changed the way people listen to music, and the iPhone in 2007. Through which smartphones were created to accommodate Apple's dominance in personal tech. What was the significance of those devices? Beginning in 1998, the iMac did much to restore Apple to its former glory by offering a bold, colorful design against a nondescript, boxy computer at the time. It was not just a useful computer, it spoke volumes of how Apple had taken on aesthetics and simplicity seriously. With its ease of use and integration with iTunes, the iPod gave users the ability to carry thousands of songs in their pocket, a revolution to the music industry when introduced in 2001. Both devices represented Apple's new direction, user-friendly, innovative, and well-designed products. Culminating in the iPhone in 2007, this interest in making intuitive, well-designed products took it a step further by packing a phone, music player, and internet device into one revolutionary gadget. The release of the iPhone made a difference in the smartphone industry once and for all, setting standards for mobile devices through its touchscreen interface in an app store, a cornerstone in Apple's success for the following years. Hey, the iPhone sounds familiar. You're right, the iPhone, as we know it, is so high-tech and cool, so much so to the point where it's ordinary. Chances are you have one too. But when it launched in 2007, the first iPhone was a revolutionary device that combined in one gadget a phone, music player, and internet browser. It featured a 3.5-inch touchscreen, sans physical keyboard radical for its time. Since most smartphones at the time had physical buttons, the iPhone ran on iOS, Apple's new mobile operating system, and came with either 4 GB or 8 GB of storage. It also had a 2-megapixel camera and supported the use of Edge, a much slower mobile data network, but lacked the addition of 3G connectivity, GPS, or the capability to install third-party apps. Most of these elements would soon become standard. The device received rave reviews for its sleek design, its intuitive touch interface, and how it could take multiple devices and mash them all into one single device, setting the stage to ignite a revolution in smartphones. How did they improve the iPhone so much in the past 17 years? It was a great breakthrough, the first in 2007 that really put the phone, music player, and web browser in one device, with a sleek all-touch interface. Yet this device lacked many features that we take for granted, from 3G connectivity to better cameras and further apps. These have been upgraded over the years with hardware, software, and design by Apple to result in the powerful device we use today, such as the iPhone 16. Arguably, the key improvements of the iPhone over successive years include enhanced camera systems where multi-lens arrangements coupled with advanced image processing have seen the iPhones take professional quality photos and videos. Apple introduced Face ID on the iPhone X or iPhone X in 2017, where it switched out the fingerprint sensor for facial recognition. The screen shifted to OLED and eventually ProMotion for higher resolution, better color, and even smoother scrolling, among others. It also shifted to an A-series chip, custom design, which made great improvements in performance and efficiency, into more premium material, including titanium and later bars. How did they improve the iPhone so much in the past 6 years? Part 2. Other aspects of hardware also gained ground, like the glass used in the iPhone called ceramic shield, water resistance, and all-day battery life, supposedly. Apple's advanced wireless technologies, 5G support has been fast and has made every new version of iPhone even faster and more energy efficient, allegedly. Much more capable of being used in augmented reality, for example. Many other technology companies use various components from Apple and other manufacturers. For example, for years now, Samsung has depended on Apple's OLED display technology for its phones, simply because among its suppliers are LG and Samsung Display, which supply the high-end displays that go into the iPhone. It similarly supplies 5G modems to the Apple for iPhone. TSMC, Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company, manufactures Apple's A-series chip. While these companies have competing products because of the global supply chain, all of them share important hardware components and their devices. The continuous evolution in the terms of material, performance, and features, and shared use of special hardware by all at Apple have been key factors in keeping them ahead in this regard and innovating the rest of the industry at the same time. What about the other devices? Well, while Apple created the iPhone, it has also created a number of other products, such as the Mac, which has been in production since the original Macintosh in 1984, and the Vision Pro. This transition to Apple Silicon has seen some significant development in terms of performance, efficiency, and tighter integration with Apple software. The MacBook Air and MacBook Pro also have grown really popular with power, portability, and sleek designs. Apple launched a long-expected mixed reality headset known as the Vision Pro in 2003. Both augmented and virtual reality were added to this headset, together with eye tracking and hand gestures, and immersive micro OLED displays, driven by the M2 and R1 chips respectively. There will be a new frontier in spatial computing. Innovation at Apple has been anything from custom-designed hardware like A-series chips for mobile and M-series chips for computers. A premium material specification, all the way to intuitive software. All these come together in these devices to ensure seamless performance. Conclusion. In conclusion, from the first Macs and iPhones to the latest Vision Pros and MacBooks, Apple has pioneered the tech world anew by pushing newer limits toward design, performance, and user experience. Each device from the revolution of the iPhone and the smartphones to push into augmented reality with the Vision Pros shaped not just Apple's course, but the competition that churns out newer technology in the overall tech industry. By paying attention to seamless integration, advanced hardware, and easy-to-use software, Apple's products keep on leading the trend of innovation from changing how we work, communicate, and relate with the digital world. As technology evolves continuously, Apple's ongoing advancement will be a core driver in ways of connecting, creating, and solving problems that we never envisioned. But they will never be worth as much as we.
What is that again? Not even.
Yeah, she can call the.
Call the general.
Now I'd like to introduce the general evaluator.
What's the question?
Okay.
Hi, this is a newly elected general evaluator, and I would like to. Which one's first? I would like to call upon evaluator 1. Okay.
Hi, I'm evaluator 1. So, Kate did a wonderful job with her speech about disabilities and how we should provide better funding to treat them. There were a few things that I would like to point out. She kind of stuttered a little bit, so I would suggest practicing beforehand. But otherwise, her body language was good, and she seemed really passionate about the topic, which is always good when you're making a speech. And she delivered her speech really well. So good job.
Hey, I'm back and time for general evaluator 2.
Alright, thank you for that. I honestly should have known that his next speech was going to be about Apple, considering all of his bajillionaire activities. And this speech was really well written. I do feel like he touched on all the important details about how Apple started and how they started from even just going and selling computers out of their parents' garage to being the most valuable, or actually second most valuable company in the world behind Amazon.
Versus Eric.
Third, first being Eric, second being Amazon. Now, I do feel like there is a decent bit you can work on. Your speech itself was really well written. I don't have anything that I can tell that you could improve on. It was well written, it was funny, you had comedy in there, and now there's one thing that I do feel like you could improve on, and that is pretty much summing everything up to where most people can understand it, because how you went through the chips and megabits, gigabits, RAM and processors, I'm not sure most people know what that is, so I do feel like you probably could have elaborated on that had you had enough time. Now, then again, there are some people, myself included, who do like technical, but I do feel like if you are going to go into the technical aspect of something, you should also have like an overall aspect that majority of people will be able to understand. Also, I do feel like you could work on eye contact. You were in that computer the entire time. Also, body language. Now, this is something I've struggled with a lot. This is something I'm sure everyone else has struggled with a lot. But just, walk around a little bit, do some hand movements. Apple, for instance, Apple went from selling stuff out to their parents' basement to being one of the most valued to being the most valued companies of all time. So you could always incorporate hand movements, hand gestures, in order to kind of branch out and make your speech more open and acceptable. I also feel like you could use note cards next time. Now, I'm not saying for your visual aids and your comedy skits that you can't have those on the screen, but instead of just reading everything off of a PowerPoint, maybe just have note cards of what you want to hit. And last but not least is stuttering. Now, I struggle with this a lot, we all have, and I do feel like if you practiced your speeches, like say just record yourself doing a speech and then re-watch it back, you can easily, you expect your problem areas where you mess up most, and you can plan for those ahead. Otherwise, I don't have anything else. It was a really great speech, and I really enjoyed it.
Next, we have the grammarian's report.
Hello everyone, once again. I'm your grammarian, and starting off with Urban, he had one and one no use for the word of the day. Next up, we had Miss Anna, who had no filler words, but no use of the word of the day. Then we had Miss Hannah, who had no use of the word of the day and one We had Kate, who had one use of the word of the day in her table topics, and no filler words. Mr. Jason, also no filler words, no use of the word of the day. Myself, no filler words, no use of the word of the day. Sophia had no filler words, but no use of the word of the day. Tim had an and a like, but no use of the word of the day. Deanna had no filler words and no use of the word of the day. And Mia also had no filler words. No, Mia had one filler word, one and no use of the word of the day. And Amira had one and one but no use of the word of the day. And Eric had no filler words and no use of the word of the day. Speech-wise, Kate had 6 filler words, being 2 one so, 1 and 2 and no use of the word of the day. and Eric had no photo words and notes to deliver today. Thank you.
And last of all, drum roll please. Timer's report!
So I was your timer for today. For table topics, started with Irvin with 38 seconds, Isaac with 1 minute and 4 seconds, Miss Anna with 1 minute and 15 seconds, Eric with 26 seconds, me with a whopping 32 seconds, Hannah with 43 seconds, Kate with 1 minute and 24 seconds, Mr. Jason 1 minute and 13 seconds, Sophia 49 seconds, Tim 1 minute and 14 seconds, Diana 51 seconds, Mia you cut close with 59 seconds, and Amira with 43 seconds. Now for our speeches, Kate you had 7 minutes and 58 seconds, so good job. Eric you had 9 minutes and 18 seconds, so good job. For the general evaluations, the evaluation of Kate by Hannah was 31 seconds, and the evaluation of Eric by Isaac was 2 minutes and 55 seconds. Great job, everyone.
We'll hand it back to Toastmaster.
Also, I left this out. For last year, I had no use of the words of the day and no photo words.
Couldn't tell the future, so I think. Hey, where's my extra pencil? Oh, one of my pencils goes this way.
And that concludes our
Great job, okay.
Hey, my pencil disappeared. And we'll start.
Great job today. And good job, everybody, especially Yana, the Toastmaster today. Great job. Look at her at this age, holding a meeting, yes, and moving it pretty well. Another good job is from Kennedy, and it's not really saying other people are not doing a good job. Y'all really did a great job. Kennedy volunteered to start with the table topic session when the two speakers are not available. Good suggestion on that, so we can get the meeting moving. Good job, first time timer, Palatia. Yeah, great job on that. And we can do better job on the word of the day. Yeah, there's some tricks. I could have put put in a paper and stick on the wall so y'all can see it. Yes, I will do that.
If I can print out for one day, I want to use it, I can just put the paper right there.
Yes, that'll be great. Yeah. While you're doing that, can you print the agenda too? Okay, because
I thought I put it in, but I forgot.
yeah, okay, yeah, thank you. Another thing is read the room. We mentioned this at the beginning of the meeting. Everybody, this is a skill, so everybody come here, read the room, read the agenda, notice who are not here, so get ready to volunteer. Okay, help out the meeting host, which is Toastmaster. Help her out, help him out, get a meeting going. We need to work on time, being here on time. I know, right? Yeah, it's on time is respectful, respect everybody's time, and help get the meeting going smoothly. All right? When I say on time, it means at least 2 minutes ahead, not 3 o'clock. A little bit early. Get ready, sit down, right? Even chat with your club members a little bit. That help build rapport. Yeah, help build your even self-confidence. Yeah, right? So thank you very much. And we're gonna work on next week's meeting.